connecting the dots at 3. I trust you well and you are keeping fit. And if you are on the replay, I want you to say replay on the chat. Thank you very much for watching. Purpose is not just about what you are called to do, it's about how you are positioned to deliver value. Again, let me repeat myself. Purpose is not about what you are called to do, it's about how you are positioned to deliver value. So, whatever it is that you and I have been able to do so far in our lifetime or so far till now, there is something that is bigger than what that thing is. And that is our ability to look ourselves in the mirror and to see that everything we need to fulfill everything that God has put inside of us has already been given to us. And we should never shy away from fulfilling purpose. And what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be reading a little portion out of what I have in this my book. And I also want to remind you that if you wait to the end, I have a special gift for everyone on this call today. And even if you watch a replay, I'll be telling you how. And that is how to say thank you and celebration about my book. I'm still talking about my book, amazing book, Connecting the Dots, how to make sense of your life's purpose and vision. Hi, Facebook family and YouTube family. So I have something that I want to let us realize about the missing link of how our education has been structured. Remember yesterday I told you I got certified, I got trained, I got all the lesson, I tried interviewing and what have you. But then everything was just like not getting me to where I was at. So I wanted to go over what I have here so that we can all be on the same page. Thank you. I'm reading from page 53. In the end, it is not the years in your life that count. It is the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. There are so many uncertainties in the world. And in the midst of these uncertainties, there are so many things that every one of us use that uncertainty to bring. But there's one thing that stands out. How do you handle the uncertainties that comes across your way? How do you cope with it? How do you still hold on to life and believe that everything about you is still beautiful? And so let me go back to where I want to read for us today. All right. Now, in all this thing, I am not trying to be a pessimist or be negative. There are facts on ground and the situation might be worse. There might still be more things coming up and there might be more threats to human existence, sustenance, and so there are serious uncertainty. But how do we handle uncertainties? How do we make sure they don't become a serious distraction in our journey of making progress and achieving success? We understand that this is the world we live in, and as much as possible, we've been trying to make it a better place, except some wicked elements that causes uproar. Okay? All of us manage the challenges as humanity, as humans. We have been prone to manage and scale through difficult moments. The future belongs to those who believes in the beauty of their dreams. Have you ever thought your weakness could be a stumbling block to your progress? Maybe you look at yourself as being incompetent or inadequate to do some things. You see yourself as being undervalued or unappreciated. You might grow up not being appreciated or valued. Nothing really cares about what you have to say, or nobody cares. So you ended up lacking confidence in your ability and your words. Your ideas and opinions don't carry much weight, at least in your mind. So you keep them to yourself. And even though you know you can do something better, you don't want to do it because you feel you are not confident enough or nobody will appreciate you. All of these have become a serious force of inertia that is holding you back from achieving your goals and making progress you would have almost wish you do. Many times you have thought of committing suicide. You feel people don't really care about your life and everyone is just doing their own thing, and you've not really felt your value as a person by anybody. I know, and I've been there. And this could be the reality or be a really serious weakness that you have. It may be a weakness that is stopping you from moving forward. Every time people ask you to do something, they don't want to do it because you feel you can't do it. You don't want to do it, or you don't know how the person will feel if you don't do it well. You have lost confidence in yourself and your mental capacity to handle situation. You have lost it. Don't worry, you will get over it and you will find your strength once again, and your hope and confidence will be restored. Let me share my own story about what I have here. Welcome everyone, and please like, subscribe, and please drop a comment in the chat and say hi. Thank you very much. Let me tell you the story about where I've just tried. Everything I shared in this book happened to be my reality, and one of it is this story of me thinking of committing suicide. After attending my secondary school education, which is more or less like the high school education here, there was an exam I'm meant to write, which is supposed to qualify me to get into college, which is in our own case in the university back home in Africa. That exam happened to be the greatest ordeal or one of the greatest nightmares that turned me in the path of what I've just read. I was not able to pass the exam at one sitting, even though some of my friends and equal, many of them were able to do that in record time. I found myself year in, year out for 6 good years. Let me repeat again. For 6 good years, I was retaking that exam. And I did not pass first year, second year. I want you to imagine, year in, year out, you will register, you sign up for that exam, you will fill out the form, you will submit, you will pay to go for coaching, you will do the exam, you will wait for the result to be out, and only for you to go and check the result and you have failed again. I don't know whether you're able to process this for year in, year out for 6 good years. Look at that. I mentioned about the frame of reference of my life yesterday, being born out of wedlock, being an unwanted pregnancy, being an unwanted child, not at the moment. And it was like if it was a waste of time and energy for anyone to have thought of conceiving me. And fast forward to like 16 years that time, I found myself again roaming around in that water of lack of confidence because I could not pass this exam. So I totally lost it. And I remember a particular year, at the 4th year of me failing to pass this exam, that I remember writing a letter and dropping it on my mom's table. That as I've gone to check my result, that if they did not see me afterward, they should not look for me because it means I have not passed and I've decided to end my life. I was contemplating suicide. I don't know if you can imagine at that age, I felt that life has no meaning. And my consolation then was that, well, I have given my life to Christ. So if I die at that time, I have not really lost. There's nothing I'm waiting for. There's nothing so special about my life that is worth living. And I thank God today that I did not give up, that I did not end my life, that I have not allowed hopelessness and the delays and the frustration of failure to end my life. That is the story. So when you look at self and you look at everything around you, you feel nobody really cares and your struggle does not, everybody seems to have forged out in life. Everybody seems to have, you know, going ahead. It's like their life is making more sense. Their life is making more meaning. Every one of them has got their life figured out. And there I am, looking at as if life is not fair. But something happened. And that is why I'm telling every one of us today to believe more in ourselves and to look up to that when you don't have the clarity, you know there's something about you, but everything around you could not show it, could not position you as that somebody. When people talk, you don't even feel you have an answer. You begin to put yourself in that hole that what is the meaning of life when you're a failure? What essence does life hold when everybody around you are moving? And I remember those days. Do you know what I used to do? I became a loner. I became a shadow of myself. Every time I walk in the community, I walk only early hours or late in the night. When they send me an errand, I used to avoid the common road because I don't want people to still see me that this girl is still at home. For how many years? I was ashamed. I couldn't go out. But there was a time that everything started shifting. That when I was able to connect the dots, when I was able to believe and discover that the fact that I was not passing that exam does not totally qualify me, make me a failure. That there's something about my life that is meaningful, that is tangible, and that is worth celebrating. And I thank God for that day because I got to understand that clarity doesn't come from just information. It comes from alignment. Here's what happened. There was an occasion that normally happens every 30th of December in my local town, hometown then, in Nigeria, Ogun State. And so during those times that I was failing writing my exam, I went ahead to go and learn how to play the piano. I was attending a local church, and because the local just started, they were in need of keyboardists, a pianist, and you asked if I believe in God. Yes, I do. So they were in search of a pianist, and while I was there looking at what can I do with my time, every Sunday I just go to church. I opt in to volunteer to learn the piano, and the truth about that decision was that when eventually I learned it, I started playing it. Then this occasion that I was talking to you about happened, and everybody, all my friends, colleagues, contemporaries that we finished secondary school together, it was like homecoming of every one of them that have gone to school, to college. And I'm home. I went to that meeting, and let me tell you this thing. And this honest, singular action that took place that day changed my world forever. So when I got there, I discovered that they were playing music. Somebody was already there. End of year, everybody was told to thank God for keeping us till the end of the year. And in that mood, songs were being sung, and there was nobody to play the piano. I walked up, I could still remember the clothes I was wearing that very day. And I walked to the piano and I started playing it. And as I was playing it, everybody was just looking at me like, wow, what happened? This lady, is it Adeola? Is it her or is it not her? Then one of those most, when you say the genius among our mates, among our set that time, now one of those guys that if you have 8 subjects, they have 8 A's, and those that clear their exams, the qualifying exam for the first time, they did not have to retake. One of them walked up to me and said, wow, Adeola, I never knew you know how to play the piano. Can you teach me? That very day, when I had that guy qualify and appreciated what I have, That was the beginning of the change of my frame of reference forever. So I now know that actually I was not useless. Actually, the truth is that I was failing that exam, but I'm actually not a failure. That there is something about me that I have not discovered that is making me to label myself as a failure. That only if I come to that place of alignment and coming to understand, having more knowledge about myself, I will not call myself or term myself a failure. There is a quote by, is it, I've forgotten the name of the author of that quote, and it says that if you, a bird will continue to label itself a failure by its inability to swim in water. So you see that a bird can fly in the air but cannot swim in the water. A fish can swim seamlessly. So the two of those animals, what as one thing that is important, that is very crucial, that you can talk about, is the fact that they have a particular environment which happen to be where they can function best. And every one and each of those two animals that I just mentioned have taken their time to discover where they can function best. And once they discover that, they remain in that habitat. And as long as they remain in that habitat, nobody can call them a failure. So a fish will never label itself a failure because of its inability to fly. Why? Because when you leave the fish inside water, you will be amazed no matter how wide, how deep the ocean, the water is. The fish will survive. And so is the case. A bird will always survive, no matter the wind, no matter the shaking, will always survive. Flying, gliding effortlessly in the air because it has discovered its habitat. So also I ask you, what is that one thing in your life that you have failed to discover, or that you know it's your strength, but you have failed to work on it and to develop it? And you have allowed society to label you, to call you as unsuccessful, to label you and call you as somebody that does not have what it takes to succeed. To allow the world to turn you to a riffraff, to a nobody. I am here to challenge you, to remind you, and to help you strengthen your resolve that you should stop looking down on your gift. Stop looking down on your talent. Stop looking down on your ability. Because what you think is nothing, when you have the right support and you have the right community, you will become somebody that everybody will be looking for. And like I just said, I played that piano to the point that all over our local community that time, we became a sought out for. That in every fellowship, we are the one that goes around and play the piano with my group that were together in the choir there. I said that to remind every one of you that is on this call today, to tell you that the shift that is going to change your life is going to come when you come in alignment with your true self, and when you stop allowing and believing what other people's lie and they are labeling their own way of thinking and their own way of rationalization. When you don't allow other people's labeling to affect and accept who you are. When you start believing in yourself and you hold that belief so strong and so dearly that actually there is nothing that you cannot do. And that if at the moment you are experiencing failure, that does not label you. You are not a failure. And you should never admit or call yourself one. And you should never give up. The story did not end there, because at the end of that 6th year, I went back. I paid for the form. I filled it in. I went to submit. I did extramural coaching. I went for the exam and I passed the 7th year. And I got admitted into the college. I want to encourage every one of you that your life, every pain, every struggle, and everything supposedly that was meant to be a thing of shame in your life, if you surrender it to God, if you allow God to lead the way, you will eventually discover that every of those things that you are talking, that you're calling failure, is going to become the strength, the instrument through which God is going to strengthen you out. And every lack of confidence you have either to felt and believing, when you can come under that place of submitting yourself to learning those things, you will see how your confidence will boost back, will rise back to life. Confidence grows from the place of knowledge, and knowledge of who you are, knowledge of your ability, knowledge of what it takes for you to become and to be who God has called you to be. When you live in this phase, when you believe in yourself and in your ability of you to be able to figure things out, and you trust your God, that averagely, that in essence, everything about your life is in the hands of God, and God has ordained it, and He will bring it to pass if you don't give up on yourself. This is my encouragement to you, that whatever it is that you think you lack structure, that you think does not make any sense, and if this story, you feel life is treating you bad, you feel unsupported, you feel there is nobody around you, you feel nobody celebrates you, nobody encourage you, one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do, just like I said in this book, is to make up your mind to start working on your mindset, to get a new understanding about yourself and about what you can do. And then when you have the knowledge of what you can do, just like I discovered, I can play the piano. This will help you to commit to learning and improving that very thing. And from that space, when you commit to learning, just like you are reading, I'm reading this book to you, and you are gaining this information, you will begin to improve your knowledge. And as your knowledge increase, your confidence will increase. And as your confidence increase, then the knowledge of who you are, the knowledge of what you can do, and the knowledge of whom you are will begin to remove the mindset of that weakling, the mindset of a failure, the mindset of somebody that is without help. And this is where you begin to build the capacity and the strength to believe in yourself again and build the life you want. I'm going to stop here because I want to make sure that I keep to time. I don't want to exceed the time limit. And I want to ask you, if this story that I've just shared in any way resonates with you, I want to ask you that you go ahead and download a free version of my ebook, Connecting the Dots, How to Make Sense of Your Life's Purpose Vision, so that it will help you on your own journey to see life differently, to see that those years you thought they are wasted, they are not wasted. They are years of preparation. They are all years of preparation by God. And then when you begin to align those years of knowledge you have built and prepare yourself, when the time comes for where God is taking you to, you will find yourself that you have never wasted those time that you waited. I want to say thank you everyone for watching. And so I want to drop the chat and just thank you all, and to say a very big thank you for watching. And tomorrow is another day. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Yeah. Please, there's one thing I need you to do. Kindly subscribe wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to this channel. Tomorrow is another day. Also, I would like you to please share this video and also notify your friends and loved one. And let's see tomorrow. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all.